What's going on, good people? Welcome back to another episode of the Bison Trading Show, coming at you live from the Bison Trading Labs, man. You know what time it is. It is Friday morning, first Friday of the month, so that means it is non-farm payroll time. We got 10 minutes, so we got to keep it quick. If you don't know, I'm half of the Bison Trading Show. I go by the name of Top Trades Futures this morning. And of course, I'm here with my guy.
You already know who it is, man. It's your boy. I'm the D guy, aka Pearl Financial. I hope you guys remember the levels we went over last night and the concepts and things we spoke about last night. Because it's time to put the money on the wood. Pause unless it's good. So let's get busy.
All right. So let's go ahead. Let's start off with US 30. We'll just run through this really quickly. We touched over all the levels last night. We just want to see if anything new has happened. So far we did not get the pullback we were expecting, which means that the trend overall is very strong to the upside. Whenever you don't pull back to the last high and you just make I wouldn't say random support level, but just an abstract support level around 500, which is a whole number. That was the support level, not the last high. So we're seeing prices continue to move higher. That's a good thing. The uptrend is strong. So let's be cautious. Let's keep our eyes open for a potential reversal that could happen when the news comes out. But we'll see how that goes when it comes. But right now, we're definitely leaning towards the long side. In terms of the S&P futures, let's switch over to that real quick. Same scenario for the most part. Only thing with the S&P is that we're coming up into the all-time high. So it's looking like it's ready to break out. So that's a good thing. We could see a potential breakout today, but also at the same time, this could act as overhead supply. So we'll keep those things in mind when the news comes out. So let's pass it over to Darren. Let's see what he has going on.
I'm going to keep it simple today. I'm going to keep my eyes on AU and I think AU for the most part because I know gold is very, you have to have, money in your account, big money in your account, and I'm not kind of there. I'm still building, but I think gold for the most part has a good setup. I think it's kind of really playing out the way we spoke about last night. We either said it's gonna come down,
Share
either
your
in.
screen.
Oh, let me share my screen. I got bags under my eyes. Okay. All right. So for the most part, gold kind of like stayed in the area in which we were speaking about. But we said it's either going to come down into the first green zone, I think down to the green line, or all the way back down. And I think it did neither. It's still kind of consolidating. But let's just flash over to AU real quick. So I think AU, I think this is where we had all these head and shoulders yesterday. And we're just kind of waiting for, hold on, was this the one? What was it, GJ? Was it this one that had all them head and shoulders? No, I think it's GJ.
You did AU last night.
I did AU last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why I feel like I don't see no head and shoulders right now.
It's still there. Ain't nothing changed.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, okay, so here we are. Yeah, so we had this head and shoulders formation, the what we kind of spoke about last night. We were kind of waiting on some rejection to happen at these higher levels over up here. It hasn't pushing up since then. The 7785. Hold on, let's flash down to a smaller time frame. There we go. Yeah, so for the most part, this 7785 area hasn't been broken yet. So we're still kind of anticipating for it to come down. I think we said this blue box right here is like the neckline. And if we can get that to be broken into the neckline, we will be looking forward to it either once it breaks this area, come back down to the 65, and maybe that'll be the area where we can get the market to go all the way back up again. But I think for the most part, I think we were just still waiting for the completion of the head and shoulders. But if it respects either the blue line or the green line stays above it, then the head and shoulders is invalid, and pretty much the two green candles that was formed before were the reasons why the market couldn't go down, because this was such a strong bullish move up, and it formed up above these highs over here, so it had a really big strong break out of this structure, so to say, because it's been staying within this blue line for a little bit. Now we finally got the big exhaustion up, breaking the structure. This could have been the retest of it just breaking out of, and now we should probably be looking for some movement to the up. So let's just see how that plays out. But yeah, so I'm really just gonna be waiting on this move. Let me see if I can maybe put an up trend line. I want to pretty much just see what this market does. Does it break up, and out of my channel? Or does it come back down to the bottom of the channel and try to retest and play around in it again? So let's just be patient on it. We're going to let the trade come to us. We're not going to rush. We're going to wait for our confirmations. Our rule is if we have 3 times, if we lose all 3 times, then we usually call it for the day. So let's hope that we make great decisions in the beginning so that we're not, wasting our, not really wasting, but, not having too many more times into the market. So I'm going to pass it back over to Ty, and, let's see what he has going on.
All right. So that's the analysis portion. You always want to make sure before you come into a trading session, you get your analysis done, you get your analysis handled like you need to. So that way you can have a plan of action about how exactly you want to go about trading that specific session, what levels you want to look at. So that way when it comes to the market and these things actually happen, you don't have to think about it. You already know exactly what needs to be done and you handle your business. So that's what it's all about. And that's why it's so important to always make sure that you keep your eyes on whatever you need to in terms of your levels. And also, you got to be prepared mentally. Make sure that you're ready to trade in terms of like being able to accept wins, being able to accept losses, being able to stay in a stable mind state, a patient mind state, especially with the news, because it's going to be a lot of whipsaw action back and forth at first when it comes out, for sure. So you always want to make sure that you don't get caught up in a trade that you shouldn't take. So right mind state, in addition with the right technical levels, can provide a very good trading setup for you. And all we have to do as traders is come in and execute and handle our business. So that being said, man, we got about a minute until the market, well, until the news opens, or news comes out. So as we can see on the S&P, we're already having a little bit of action so far. So that's a good thing. That's telling us that when the news comes out, it's going to be an even bigger reaction. So let's just get ready for it. 30 seconds. Here we go.
Look up. I'm gonna bring up Forex Factory. Let's see what other news is coming out. Is my screen shared?
Yeah.
Okay. So Friday morning we have. Let's see. Employment change, unemployment rate. So CAD pairs in the U.S. So I said I was doing AU. Ty said he was doing U30, right?
Yep. News just came
Oh,
out.
yep. I'm getting some push to the up. I want to see what happens. I don't want to rush my trade, but I'm definitely going to try to set up for a nice little. Hopefully we can get it up to the up move, so it's kind of now pushing into my level. So let me actually start setting up and see what we get. We got a nice strong push up AU. What was my level? 7785. So these are levels I'm gonna go with today. Looking for a buy limit. 77785. We want 77975. Ready to get busy today. Let's see. As Ken's pushed all the way up 77815. Have you begun to put any levels in? This might be crazy if this journey is a reversal and comes all the way back down.
Yeah, so far on my chart, I'm getting the opposite. You got an up move, I got a down move.
Right.
So I'm just waiting for prices to come back, test the last low. Also, maybe test one of the major quarter levels, major half levels, 450 or 475. And then I'm looking to take the short just back down. I don't want to look for too much, just a nice little trade to start the morning off.
Right.
'Cause I know volatility is here now, but a lot of times it dries up until like 9:30. So from 8:30 to maybe 8:50, 8:55, that's the opportunity for us, well, at least for US 30 traders to really capitalize. So
look at this huge push up, bro.
I see.
Like the US, I mean, there's whatever news just came out. That's huge news, bro. And this, I'm not saying, oh man. Let's make sure we set up nice, AU traders. We got big push to the up move. We wish we can got it down and got some of these lower levels. This would have been wonderful, but I'm pretty sure if we would have set up these levels, had these levels placed last night, we will currently be in profits. So, like I told you, you guys had to take notes, write down your levels, and just be patient. The only thing that kind of worries me is when things kind of push up like this. It can the wick can push. Excuse me. The body of the candle is going to come all the way back down and close down here, and then possibly push back down. But if it's able to stay up above here, we're good. I just wish it can just come down and grab some of these levels down here that I put.
Let's go.
And then we can go up. But I want all this down here. I shouldn't be too greedy, but I want some of all of this down here, and I think that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to come all the way back down. But that kind of worries me because on a higher time frame, it turns around. It comes up this high, and then it turns all the way back around. But the last time it formed a big candle like that, the two previous times it formed a candle like that, it turned around. Turned around here, and it turned around here. So I need to make sure I keep my stop losses tight and still be prepared to, hop in and be on the right side of the trade. But as of right now, we have a buy set up at 778. I think we at 850. What do I have at 778? 77850. That's what 778. Yeah, I'm showing 77850. Then we're looking for 779. 779. I'm gonna say 50. Because I want to stay closer to like the quarter levels. And I think this area up here already got hit, but I'm kind of upset this area got hit already because I was trying to hope that the market comes back down and grab some of these levels before it takes back off again. So I'm gonna still be patient. I'm not gonna run out of my trade yet. But yeah, let me drop down to a lower time frame and see what's going on. I want to get some more trades in, but I don't want to be greedy. Maybe I should put in something else. I don't know. What do you guys think? I have one open trade. Should I try to open another one? And try to just really capitalize on these moves today? 78. We're going to put 78 flat and just see what happens. So yeah, so let's flash over the tie. I know I've been kind of...
Yeah, so over here, took a couple trades so far. Took a nice short trade. Now it got stopped out. Now not at break even, but I caught 6 points off of that on the Dow Jones, so that's decent. Right now, I'm just waiting for this overall downtrend to find this next leg. Usually, when you see an impulsive move to the downside like this, you wait for the pullback to come back to the last high area, and then you just wait for some type of bearish chart activity. So a bearish engulfing or a V pattern reversal, anything like that. So specifically, right now, I'm waiting for this specific candle to break below the lows of 420 right here at the open of the previous candle next to it. That right there would be a a bearish engulfing for me. That would be good enough. Or I'm looking for some type of rollover. It doesn't just have to be an engulfing. It can be any type of bearish activity that you see around a certain resistance level. So notice how at this specific point, we've already had support form right here. Resistance form right here. So now we're just waiting for things to kind of shake out, let the buyers get everything out that they have to, let the buyers exhaust themselves, and once they're done, sellers step back in and take over. Now, as we can see, the buyers are not quite finished just yet. And that's the thing about impulsive moves to the downside like this. You could really stop and find resistance at any one of these levels. It could be this area right here that we're at right now, or it could be levels above, like we saw with this wick at 483, or it could really come all the way back up to 525 and still be able to make a move to the downside that will create a lower high. But right now, we just had a false breakout from the level that we're at. So that could potentially be the setup that we're looking for to take that short trade. So I'm going to be a little bit risky today. We're at 425. That's my major quarter level. So I'm going to go ahead and put my short orders in. I have my stop about, what's that? Let me check. I think 25 points above. So for the most part, I have it 25 points above. For my stop, I have my take profit about 50 points below. So that's about 2 to 1. I like those types of numbers. And as we can see, the market is kind of moving away from us. It didn't hit our orders, but that's okay because we're going to put an order right here at 20. Because in times like this, you don't want to be too aggressive. More than likely, prices will come back to test you, especially in terms of volatility like this. But if it doesn't, we'll go ahead and just take a manual order and follow the chart on the way back down. But this thing is moving to the downside. We just don't want to hop in too early. We know what the trend is, we know what the direction is, but entry and price levels are also important. Come on now. Come on, come back and fill our orders. Because right now we're playing around this 400 level, as you can see. We haven't really broken above it. So when you are running into these whole number levels, always put an order back at the last level of resistance in terms of quarter levels and half levels. So that's why I have mine somewhere around the 20, because it'll come back up, tag that level one last time, and then it'll turn around and make the move back down to the downside to continue moving lower and make a new low. So right now we're only about 6 points away from having that order come back and get touched, and that's exactly why you want to keep it there, because we could have got in down at 400, but that would have been a 20-point difference, which is pretty significant on the Dow Jones. So let's see, we're at 18, we're coming up into 20, and our order has been hit. So our stop is at 44, our target is at 72. So let's see if the short trade works out, or if this, what we're looking at right now, turns out to be a higher low, because that's definitely a possibility as well. Never want to discount that. But I like our stop. I think we have it in a decent place. We have it towards the top of this general area. If prices break past that level, we have no business being in a trade anyway. So right now we see that prices are kind of hovering around that 425 level. We want to see what the sellers do right here. Let's see if they step in and push this thing back down lower. So far, so good. We want to look for places to move our stop to break even. It does it automatically once we hit a certain level. For the Dow Jones right now, I have it on 15. So once prices hit 405, that you saw that, I don't know if you guys caught it, but you saw that green order kind of snap back to the blue line. That's the automatic profit target working for you. So whether you have it automatic or manual, you always need to trail your stops and trail your targets. We just broken down below 400, pushing past 390, and we're coming back right now to the market structure bottom. So that's a good thing. We're kind of bouncing off of it, which is expected, because that's a level of support right there. That's the lows for the day. If anybody was short, that was probably a level that they would take profits from. And also people that are looking for value on the long-term picture, they might be going long from there. So always respect your support levels. But if you believe in the trend, just go ahead and hold your trade. So for me, I'm holding my trade mainly because we're in the 80s, and I'm waiting for prices to come back to the next major quarter level at 375. Now, we're only 10 points away from it. So in that regard, you got to pretty much just kind of know when to hold your trades and be patient. I know a lot of times I've gotten out when prices hit market structure bottom, but if I would have gave my trades maybe 2 to 3 minutes, I would have been able to hit my target. So in today's session, I want to do that as well. And also, until that happens, I want to continue to move my stop down and manage my risk. So right now, worst case scenario, if I get stopped out, I still get 10 points from this trade. Best case scenario, I get stopped out, I get almost 50 points. We got in at 420, trying to get out at 377. We're at 384, about to break 70s, and there we go. Let's bring up our fills. Let's see that trade in motion. Okay, there we go. So we shorted at 420. We covered it at 377. Made $21.50 off of that move right there. So if you want to figure out the point value, you just multiply it by 2. I'm trading 50-cent pips right now. 50-cent points. So we was able to catch a nice 42 from that one right there. And that's how you trade Dow Jones futures and US 30. So you add that in conjunction to what we had before, we were able to catch about 4 points. So all in all, up by 46 points so far. So thank you, non-farm payrolls, man. Let's flash over to Darren's side. Let's see what's going on.
I'm still holding this long play right now. I'm just kind of looking at this higher time frame and kind of think, did I kind of rush? And I say that because when I go to this 3-hour time frame, this is really just sticking out to me, and I want to put a zone over this right here. Let me put a zone over this. And this zone pretty much to me represents every time it came into the zone, it got scared and got up out of there. And I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have bought in this high, but I was thinking that maybe non-farm payroll was the energy it needed to maybe blow past, not really blow past, but just not doing so much retest or having to come all the way back down to retest. So I still want to be patient. I'm still kind of floating in profit. I have two entries. I just really want to make sure my stop loss is tight. Let's actually put this stop. I'm gonna put a new stop. So I think the one I have possibly could be too loose, so to say. So I think we will all agree that if the market comes back down and breaks these tops over to the left, it's safe to say that we definitely don't have no reason to be in this trade. So if the market comes back down and breaks these highs and comes back down, I think that will be a good place for us to be like, you know what? We have no business being in this trade anyway.
Zoom in a little bit too.
Alright, hold on.
Because your chart kind of highlights something that I noticed with news a whole lot, which is that usually when news comes out, the chart is gonna move, but it's only gonna move and do what it was already planning to do. It's just gonna happen a lot faster. So it looks like even before the news came out, prices were coming off of that bottom zone and the bottom zone in the trend line towards the bottom of the chart. And they were making higher highs and higher lows and kind of pushing up back to that market structure top. And then once the news came out, it just accelerated that movement all the way up into that level.
Yeah. And I was thinking maybe that's exactly what it needed just to hit this level. So now I can just start coming back down. Yep. And that's the only thing that worries me. Like, just how like over here, it's like maybe something happened here. It was like, all right, we got up here, just enough momentum to get up here. Now we getting up out of here, which we came all the way back down. But I'm gonna stay down for the come up because non-farm payroll is a day that the markets really do move. I trust this higher high and higher lows that has been forming. And I think maybe third time is an actual charm. Like, other than this time, the first one was a no-go, second one was a no-go, and they say the third one is always the charm. So let's be patient and stay solid. I want to get this level. This is going to be my new stop loss. 7, 8, 900. So if it breaks 7, 8, 900, I have no business whatsoever being in this trade.
So this area we're at right now, is this, you see the green zone you got all the way at the top?
Where? Up
Is
this
that
up here?
Yeah. Is that the right shoulder we was looking at on the bigger time frame?
I believe so.
Yep.
Yep. Literally, it's the right shoulder or the left shoulder, whatever shoulder.
So we had a key area right now, because if it breaks, like, of course we respect, the supply zones, but if it can break,
which is possibly what it's doing right now, it's shooting up. So maybe non-farm payroll was the energy it needed to bust out of this higher area, which it struggled actually for a good little while. So, we stayed down for the come up. And to me, when you actually look at it, all these over here, let me say this again. When you actually look at these tops compared to this one, all of these candles pushed up, but the bodies closed kind of lower at the bottom of the box. This one formed down below the box. This one just formed just at the bottom of the box. And this one formed maybe a few pips up into the box. This is the only one where the body is so strong and has broken all of these previous highs. So I think that, to me, technically, really means that we just now officially broken, not officially, but kind of like a scrimmage. With football, we had that scrimmage. This is the scrimmage way of it already breaking. because the technical and official is up, 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 and out of it at the top. That's the official break. But to me, on my experience with trading, I've noticed that to me, like when the body kind of breaks or is more powerful, and not closing kind of so low, and kind of pushes up and breaks all this, that to me is a break. So we're definitely in profit. Um, we definitely came in this trade strong, so we might have 2 wins. We're letting it go right now. Let's see where we're gonna possibly take it. We definitely don't want to be greedy. We want to take our pips and go. So I think, ultimately, if we can get it to kind of come to the top of this box, I think I would be kind of satisfied. Um, Let me see how many pips from where we were down here. No, actually, I think I got in at the top, so I didn't get in down here. I got in up here. About a good 50 pips, and I have 2 entries. So I have one I entered in at 78, 115, and 78, 150. So that's about a good 40, 35 pip difference. Let's actually move the green lines, and we're only gonna put the green lines of my actual entries. So let's take this one away, this little one away. I'm only left with 2 green lines. So the first green line, my entry is 7, 8. And this one is 7, 8, 150. And now, and actually, the reason why it's actually so high is because if we would have put our entries in, had our entries in set up last night, we would have been able to capitalize on all of this area. But we're not gonna uh, dwell on spilled milk. We're gonna just put our entries in, and we're just gonna hold on to what we have, and we're gonna take profit at our levels at 68. Excuse me, 78 600 flat, and we're gonna just call it.
What
Yes,
prices are they at now?
it's at 78.3. So we're just gonna let it ride for now. I think maybe at the top of the purple box is maybe where I might take it. I don't want to be too greedy. Maybe let one hit, take profit on one of them, and let the other one run. So I take profit on one and then let the other one go, and we'll just take profit at top. We may hop in for another entry, but for the most part, we're definitely gonna let these two trades rock out for now, and let's just see where the market goes.
All right. So, in terms of the Dow Jones, let's get an update for what's been going on over here. Since our last trade, we have seen prices come back down, test the market structure bottom, establish at around 375. So that's a major quarter level. That's the quarter level showing up right there. That's the daily low for today. Now we've seen prices push back up. They reclaimed that 34,400 level. Now they're coming back up to retest market structure, the market structure top, at least for this overall consolidation pattern that we formed since the news came out. We had an impulsive down move, and now we're consolidating sideways. So, best case scenario, we could expect prices to come back up towards the top of the area. If we can get a bounce and see a lower high get made off of that, that could be potentially a good way for us to enter, a good way for us to enter into a short trade. Now, I want to be a little bit conservative because once you're up in profit for the day, you pretty much need to just only take the best trades available. Either that or just completely call it a day and say, you know what, I'm done. So, we caught 40 something points on the Dow Jones so far. We gotta be aware of it because you don't want to get overconfident when you trade. Even if you have winners, whatever you do, well, even if you have winners or losers, whatever you do on the next trade has nothing to do with the trade you took before, win or loss. So we got to make sure we have our entries right. And of course, you guys know that today was non-farm payrolls, and that's the catalyst behind what we're trading today. So it would only be right for us to go ahead, head over to Yahoo Finance, and see what the number itself was. So let's see. Okay. U.S. employers added just
I think
266.
you sharing your screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead. My fault.
U.S. employers added only 266,000 jobs in April. Economists were expecting 1 million. So, that's not the best results that people were kind of expecting. Imagine if you was expecting somebody to give you $100 and they gave you 26. That would be a very big disappointment. So I guess that makes sense in terms of why we saw prices move the way that they did today. But one thing I want to keep in mind that I've seen a lot of times from trading news is that you could get good news and the market goes down. You could get bad news, the market goes up. So always keep your minds open, because I've seen a lot of occasions where you have an initial down move like we see with the Dow Jones. And then as time goes along and as the session passes by, you start to see higher highs and higher lows, and eventually prices come back up to where they started the downtrend from. And in some occasions, when the trend is very strong, they just break past that entire level. So keep that in mind for the bigger term picture. Right now, in the moment, though, we want to stay inside of this zone that we're looking at for the Dow Jones. And also, we've been focusing on AU and the Dow Jones for a minute, but yesterday we went over a few different pairs that we told you would probably be affected by some of this news. So let's go ahead. Let's make our way over to TradingView so we can actually just get a quick analysis about what happened. So let's start off with Dogecoin. We went over that last night. So we were telling you guys that overall, before you needed to buy, you need to see higher highs and higher lows. That still has not come to fruition. So for my Dogecoin buyers, it's not the time to get in, not quite yet. Actually, what's today? May 7th.
Yeah, 7.
Oh, okay. See, I was looking at the 5 minute. Okay, I'll take all of that back. So I think last night when we left, we were located at around 53. We came back down to 51. We tested the market structure bottom. We saw prices bounce off of that level, push higher, break past the consolidation zone that they had been stuck in, and now we're actually creating that higher low that I was speaking on. So depending on how this hourly candle closes, it closes in 2 minutes. If we can see a good close, that might actually be the higher low that we're potentially looking for. So Dogecoin traders, keep your eyes open. Things could be forming up for you. Also, let's take a look at Bitcoin. I haven't gone over this one this week, but last Thursday, I was telling you guys that with Bitcoin, remember how we were going over every time that the market had a pullback, it made its way out of the pullback by means of a bullish engulfing. So let's just go back and look at those occasions. We had our first pullback back in January. Well, not our first, but our most recent pullback back in January, right? Look at how we came out of that level. We came out with a bullish engulfing that we formed right here. Also was part of a double bottom. We had a bullish engulfing, a higher low, and from that point on, we started the next leg of the up move until we hit all-time highs. You hit all-time highs, we pulled back, right? But look how we come out of this pullback. Same scenario. Bullish engulfing, followed by a higher low. And then we move to new all-time highs. Same scenario once again at the end of this pullback here. Bullish engulfing, higher low, new all-time high. And that leads us to where we're located at right now on the chart. We just had our most recent pullback. Look at what's happened. We had a bullish engulfing, and we've already established a higher low. Let me pull up the line chart so we can see that. We see the higher lows are being formed in comparison to where our lowest price point was. So that's what we like to see. And if Bitcoin follows the price action that it's been doing recently and historically, we should be moving to new all-time highs within the next month or so. So just keep that in mind in terms of Bitcoin. And I think US 30 is the last It's not US 30, but dollar Swiss is the last pair we need to look at. I know we've been going over this one for a long time, and I've been telling me and Darren have been telling you guys about the overall down movement. This has been going on since 2019. We're just seeing more of the same. So we're seeing lower lows and lower highs. We just pushed past a major low point in the market located at 91 cents. So that's a major whole number level and psychological level. And we're pushing into the 90s right now. We're at 90.32. And let's see. Let's check out the 5 and see what happened when the news came out. Just like US 30, moved to the downside. So it's moving very similarly to the US 30 right now. So that's interesting. So I just wanted to make sure that we went around the horn. We covered all the things that we love.
Your joint's going in and out. I can't hear you, my boy. Your joint going in and out.
Hello?
Yo,
you here?
Yeah, your drum's going in and out, bro. I'm not sure if me or the people heard what you were saying.
Where did it cut up?
I don't even know. It's like your drums start going in and out. You were saying, I don't even know, bro. Just repeat the last sentence or the last two sentences you said.
So I was basically saying that I was talking about dollar Swiss. Mm-hmm. So I was telling you guys how overall. So did you catch the dollar Swiss part?
Yeah, I think we just cut off right around the dollar Swiss part.
All right, bet. So I was saying that overall the dollar Swiss has a very similar correlation, at least right now, for how the Dow Jones is moving. And that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to go around the horn and touch on all of the pairs that we know would be affected by this news coming out, mostly all of the USD pairs. So that's all I wanted to do right there. Let's keep our eyes open. It shouldn't really be too much movement in the Dow Jones.
And the market
until we see
the market open
at 9:30.
Oh, 9:30.
Nope. Okay. We got about 30 minutes.
About 30 minutes.
And then we get a whole another wave of volatility coming
in. I was gonna say, I had set up this long position right here to pretty much see how this is gonna play. This is ultimately pretty much the move I want to kind of see go out. So I'm gonna move this over so to show that we're actively in the move right now. So our lowest entry was 78115. Where did we say our stop was at? Also was at 77900. I think since it moved up a little bit, you think I should keep my stop loss where it's at, right? I shouldn't move it just yet, right?
You're in profits, right?
Yeah.
By how much?
So I have 5-cent pips. One of them is $3. I can't see how many pips it is. Yeah, it doesn't say how many pips.
What prices did you get in at?
So I got in at 78150, and it says 78180, and 78115, and 190. Yeah, so pretty much we're sitting at 78190. My entries were 78150. So how many pips is that? 150 to 180. That's 30.
That's 3.
That's 3. And from 115 to 78190 is what?
15 and 7.
It's at 190.
What's the? You said 7515.
Nope, 78115 and 78190. So 115 and 190.
So from 15 to 19, that's 4.
No, not 19, 90.
Yeah, that extra 0 at the end, you're not supposed to count that.
Yeah. Okay, so 7, 8, 11, 18. Yeah, so that's how much I'm up, like 3 or 4 pips.
So, what's your overall target? Because right now it's kind of tight. Because if you move your stop up, you're gonna be stopped up.
I wanted to be 7863.
Oh yeah, keep your stop where it's at. It's too early.
Yeah, it's too early to move it back.
You
Yeah.
get like 15 pips, 16, 20.
Then maybe, yeah, some keep my stop down here. Yeah, because if it breaks down below that, I have no business being in that trade at all. So let's just see how this plays out. And actually, I bet you all the areas that I had in or wanted to have in down at the bottom are all going to get hit. Oh, let me push my, that's my entry. My stop is down here. So I hope my stop doesn't get hit because I think some of my entries were actually down here by my stop loss. Yeah, what was some of the entries? I think I had them written down. I had 7785, 7795, 7789, and 78 flat. So maybe I should have took pips. I mean profit when I was up that 5 or 6 pips, but we're gonna
Switcheroo.
huh?
Hitting you with the switcheroo.
Yeah, and it's doing exactly what I thought or intended it for it to do, which when I kept looking at the higher time frames, bro, it's gonna do just exactly this, bro. That's why I'm gonna keep my stop tight and probably even prepare to even hop in for the sell. Because the last time it came here 1, 2, 3 times, it did that. And we can't expect anything much more than what it already has been doing. You know, so I'm just gonna keep my eyes really tight. I'm gonna keep my losses at a small minimum and be prepared to hop for the sell because something's really telling me for the sell. Like my intuition is telling me. Oh, now my phone trying to be slow and freezing up. Come on, Wi-Fi. Didn't close none of my trades I just did, bro. It's definitely, matter of fact, if it breaks this 7 moving average, my stop is all the way down here. But it's like if I know it's coming down, I might as well just I'm gonna take my loss. I'm gonna cut my loss now. So that's 2 losses there. We were in, huh?
It hit your stop?
Nah, I didn't hit my stop. My stop is down here. But I'm just like, if it comes all the way down here anyway, like I'm being more losses than if I would have just cut it at the 7.
That's true.
You know
It
what I
isn't.
mean?
That's supposed to be support though at the 7.
I think so. This is the support.
You still got a flagpole to the left too.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
us.
on the 15, it's a bearish engulfing.
Yeah, bearish engulfing. That's why, like, to me, I had to cut it. Like, I should have took
At least for
profits.
right now. It
At
still
least
got
for right
7
now.
minutes till it close though.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know. It might bounce.
I think it's
Trend is
definitely
up.
gonna. Yeah, the trend is up, but I think it's definitely going to do this over here, bro. This is the way this is forming. This is that exactly going to happen. All this is the way this is happening is going to happen. So you know what? Let me put my actual intuition in, and I have 2. I have 1 left, 1 trade left, and I'm gonna utilize it for a sell, which I really felt like I wanted to go the first time, but I really went with just because I had to trade what I was seeing, and also maybe I should have kind of waited till the market open, because with the market going to open was probably going to be what it needed to push up and then come back down again. So I don't know. I'm going to set it up for here and see what happens. So let's try 78175. We're gonna try so it's either between 15, 16, all these T numbers. Let's do 7808. Let's go 10, 7, 8, 10. And I think this is honestly, I feel like that I should have went this one originally, bro. But like I said, I'm not gonna ever stress over spilled milk. And all these highs to the left were telling me, screaming to me like, we're going to push up and we're just going to drop to the floor. Seven, 8. Let's try 14. Because I only want to have one good trade, trying to see which is a good level. 7, 8, 20 possibly. Or maybe I should just put one on my live trade and one on my demo. So I have one trade set up on for the sell, which I felt like originally I wanted to go, but I had to trade what I was seeing. But now I'm trading my intuition. We have 15 more minutes till the market opens. So let's flash over to Ty and see what he got going on.
So for the Dow Jones right now, we're still within this general zone. We've seen prices come back up to the top of the zone. We tested those levels and we pushed down. Now, as a matter of fact, now that we see that the actual upper level of the zone, the prices are a little bit below our levels, we want to adjust it. So let's go ahead and move this up just a little bit. Get it perfectly right.
Just a
Boom.
little bit. Just
there we
a
go.
Touch of
Really, until the market opens, I don't see too much happening with this this setup that we have now. But when the market does open, we should be expecting prices to continue to the downside, only because of the price action that we're seeing. Because while the market is kind of playing around right now, let's go over the trading view and let's look at the longer term picture for US 30 and let's see exactly what's going on. All right. So let's pull this up. Get this thing out there. All right. So don't forget the picture and the overall trend. The overall trend is still up. So with that being said, that means that you always have to take every downtrend with a grain of salt. Understand that every downtrend, even though it may seem extreme on the 1 minute chart, the 5 minute charts, is really just a pullback trying to find an important level of support so the buyers can step back in and buy the dip and push prices back higher. So you don't ever want to get too caught up in one specific sell move because the sell moves is like it's like a bad girlfriend. She can do right by you most of the time, but when she does you dirty, it's gonna be so bad that you say, "Wow, it wasn't even worth the good times." So don't let the downtrend fool you. All of that, and also in terms of psychology, Understand why charts are green and red. When you see red, what does that mean? Bad, panic, not good. They make these candles this color for a reason, so don't let that throw you off. But anyway, saying all that to say, we come down back to the major support level for the overall flag that we had established from before. So if we look at this flag that we had happen yesterday at 3 o'clock, let's measure it. When we measure it up, we moved we moved up about 200 pips, well, 200 points on one candle. So that's a huge extreme move for a 1 hour candle in itself. So that means that we have a flagpole right there. All we have to do is find the flag support, which is located at around 500. Now we wick down past that level, but we've never closed below it. So in terms of like price action, we really haven't seen, uh, you know, a significant down move just yet. The only thing that concerns me is the fact that on this hourly chart, we are making a bearish engulfing, extreme bearish engulfing, compared to the candle that it came from before. It's not even a question. It's the biggest bearish engulfing maybe on the chart for the past couple of days. So that's significant. And with that being said, we have to trade in the moment. When we're day trading, we have to trade what we see right here, right now. Long term, I still like the long moves, but right now I like the short trades, and that's why. So flash back over to our trading platform. We want to look for prices that continue moving lower, because whenever you come out and post a move to the downside like this, prices are gonna find a bottom, find a consolidation area, and then just kind of play around. But eventually, you start seeing the bears pick back up. You start seeing bearish price action, bearish candlestick patterns, and accompanied by volume or a catalyst to push it, it could have a very nice extended down move once again. So I think that catalyst for us today, we already had the non-farm payrolls that started the down move. And then when the market opens at 9:30 and everybody comes into the market, that should probably be the catalyst to move things and continue moving them further down. Now that's the selling side. That's what we want to consider. But also, we don't want to just ignore the bulls, because like I said, the overall trend is still up. So prices really could bounce off of these levels from the bottom. And once they break back up past the top of the zone and past 450, 34,450 on the futures chart, we could definitely expect higher prices. And I wouldn't be surprised to see prices come back to where they initially started the down move from at 580. So that's the buying side if we break above the consolidation. But right now, looking at what we have going on, man, I have to lean towards the short side. And that's my analysis for the Dow Jones. Now we flash over to the S&P real quick. We made the right decision by trading the Dow Jones, because the Dow Jones gave us a lot of price action back and forth, lower lows and lower highs. The S&P, for the most part, was kind of just stuck in the consolidation range, even with the news coming out. It wicked down, but came right back into the range. So sometimes, depending on what the market is looking like, you either have to trade the Dow Jones or the S&P. So keep that in mind as well. You never want to be just a one-trick pony. You want to use whatever is most applicable to that specific situation that you're in, so you can do well. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up my analysis. Before I
So I
go,
wanna
just point
flash over
out.
to AU really quick. I didn't mean to cut you off before the market comes. Uh, I said turns on. Opens up. I think, like I said, I think I was absolutely right with my intuition, and I really felt like that's one thing I definitely want you guys to kind of take from this. Those two plays that I had in the beginning were, based off what we seen, and I couldn't blame you for entering in long, but we always have to look at previous moves the market has made. The market will tell us its next move. We just have to pay attention to the signs and know what to look for. We knew every time it makes extended highs like this, it pushes up and it comes down and then it just goes down. So what we should have did was waited till this candle completed before we entered into the market. we entered in this trade, or at least I entered in this trade on the extension of it breaking into that green zone. I was so anxious on wanting to get in on the extension instead of waiting for the extension to complete to capitalize on the next move after that. If I would have did that, I would have noticed how it would have did the same thing how it did these last two times, which was make a high, it comes up, it extends up, but then the body of the candle comes all the way down and pushes down and closes. So yeah, that's with that being said, I think, yeah, man, we guys just have to let things kind of play out before you just hop right on in. So we're still in good profit right now. I think I'm so I got in at 78.10 and 78.17 right now, and it's at 78.09. So that's probably like 8 or 9 pips. So we're probably gonna definitely make what we kind of lost. Our two L's. So with these two entries right here, we got one trade over. I don't normally go over my 3 trades, but I feel a little bit confident on this one. So we're gonna let this kind of play out. So I didn't mean to cut Tiberius off. What were we gonna say?
No, that was the end of my analysis. I was just gonna say we were coming on the Dow Jones. We're coming back down to the bottom of the zone once again. So let's see how prices play out. Whenever prices break, they break by the way of either a false, well, not a false breakout. Let me see. What do I want to say? They usually don't make their way back up to the top of the consolidation zone. They either touch the bottom, come back up, hit the last low, and then move through and push. So that's potentially what could be setting up. We got 8 minutes until the market opens, so let's keep our eyes on that.
So let's kind of see how this plays out. I wish we had like some for this type of day on our live trading, maybe have like some low playing music or something. While our trades are playing out. You heard me?
Yeah.
Okay. So while that's doing, I know it's something we can be. How many more minutes we have to the market going? Yo, this was 7. This was the direction I was supposed to originally get into, bro. But we're in it now. But that just shows. That's definitely one lesson I definitely want to go over in traders talk before we is to definitely look at the previous moves in history. They always tell you the story. It's like money. What does the saying go? Uh, Women lie. Who lie? Where did I go? No, something lied. This lie, but the charts don't lie. So I'm gonna get the actual saying. You don't know that saying, bro? I know you do.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
I would say, come on, bro. You knew exactly what I was trying to say. And you're gonna just let me struggle the way I just struggled like that, bro. You are not right, bro. You definitely see me tear that whole saying up, bro. Like you heard
got the
me.
general idea.
Nah, you heard me tore that whole saying up completely. You didn't even try to step in like, nah, bro, it's this lie, nah. You just let me
Close
just
enough.
embarrass my whole life. Like,
Remember what our rule is? We got that close enough rule.
nah. This wasn't even
Shit was
close
close
enough, bro. Cut it out, bro. It wasn't even close enough, bro. You are a cat. You are a cat, my boy. See how you treat me, y'all? That's crazy. You let me struggle like that and know exactly what I be trying to say. And let me just mess the whole way up instead of just being like, nah, my boy, that's not it. This is it. He gonna be like, nah, that's close enough.
But see, I know you're good at thinking on your feet, so I knew you was gonna be able to say, "Wait, hold on, that's not the word. Just the word right here," and boom, switch it up on them. So I was just waiting for it. I'm like, "Here we go. You finna get it in."
Nah, you say anything. You say anything. My joint is ringing right now. Come on, man. Let's see how this goes. I know I was going to be correct. Not to kind of, just for the sake of conversation, you seen that joint with Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul yesterday on the gram?
I saw that.
Yo, he's bugging out. He took, and Floyd was looking kind of rough though. We not even gonna sit here and lie and not act like my boy wasn't looking to, you know what I mean? Looking real $1,000,000-ish. She was looking real $100,000, $1,000-ish, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we have our good days and our bad days, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So we got 3 more minutes till the market opens. Let's see what happens. I definitely want to grab something, but I definitely want to be patient and wait. I don't want to miss this. I gotta go upstairs and grab something.
2 minutes.
Come on, baby. Let's go, baby. I think that's this market open is probably the energy it needs to finally just bust down through this joint. And I swear I was saying it the whole time. I'm like, that candle's gonna push up, psych everybody out, including myself, thinking that it's just gonna just take off to the sky. Whole time it's like, yeah, buyers, come on in. Come on in. Get us up to like the 78.30, maybe even close to 78.40. Turn that joint all the way around. Come on, is the market open? We got 1 minute.
Almost.
So for sure, huh? I was gonna say for sure I would have got stopped out. It's heading to my stop right now. Like, if I would have let that trade just go, that's just letting my losses get bigger to me. I'm kind of glad I kind of let it cut it early.
So let's see how this zone plays out right now as the market opens. We should see prices come back retest the top of the zone, and we should get a nice little bounce to the downside. But if it doesn't come all the way back up to the zone, we talked about that earlier. That's our lower high that we're looking for to potentially push prices back down out of this level. But I more so got to lean towards prices testing the top first just because of how things have gone. But as we can see, they ran right through the zone. So now we're trading in new territory. We just touched new daily lows. We're coming back to retest that zone, right? So we're looking for a breakdown retest. But also, we want to just sit to the side because I wouldn't advise any trades because you could also get a false breakout. It hasn't been a minute since the market opened, and the market is always the most volatile at the open. So don't let these moves hit you with the fake rule and get you tricked out. Stay patient.
Good old fakeroo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 2 more minutes. I'm gonna go. 2 more minutes. I'm gonna go grab that. I just want to see what happens next. See, like I definitely knew what I was saying, bro. I'm up $14.
See, that's what happens when you have active trade management and you understand the chart. You can see what you did and you can look at it and say, I don't know if I like that. You know what? I'm supposed to be this way. You could have stayed in that trade and said, nah, this is what I chose, so this is what I'm going with. But as a smart trader, you was like, nah, this is the move that's supposed to be happening. Let me get on the right side.
Right. And most importantly was keeping my losses at minimal. You know what I mean? Exactly. If I know if I'm losing right now, I don't want me just continuously watch it get bigger, get bigger, get bigger, get bigger, and just, you know what I mean, and not cut it off knowing that that was my loss. So this is definitely a good thing. I think I might actually take profit right at my stop loss. I think that stop loss is like a good entry. But I got in at 78.17 and 78.10. So we have 77.94. No, yeah, 7793. So, like we said, we're gonna let the winning trades run.
Let them run.
So go over to the left and see where we're doing. Or maybe it's retesting on the top of the blue box. But
looks like we're on our way back up to the top of the zone. Let's keep our eyes open for that.
Let's keep our eyes peeled, guys.
So I would say that in terms of how price action is playing out right now on the Dow Jones, is really kind of still playing around within this zone. Because notice how a few minutes ago we were talking about how we had that break to new daily lows, right? But if you look at what happened, it was really more so a false breakout. We had a tweezer bottom get formed down here, right? And also look at the volume that's associated with that. This is the highest volume candle the highest volume bar we've had since 856 and the highest one we had since the news came out. Of course, that aligns with the opening of the market, but it's very significant when you see those things. You see a bullish reversal pattern at a major support level at the bottom of the zone, also supported by higher volume when the overall trend is up. So that could potentially lead to higher prices if prices break above the top of the zone. Until that happens, we really can't be 100% confident in what the bulls have done so far. Now, let's pull up the line chart Let's see if they've made any higher lows. They have. So see, notice how we bounced off the bottom of the zone, pushed up. We have a higher low right here. As long as prices stay above 400, which is one of our major whole level numbers. We've been seeing prices play around that level all morning long. So it makes sense that the 400 level acted as support and established our higher low. So let's see if prices have enough momentum to actually break past the top of the zone. That would be very interesting because if it doesn't, you know what it's time for. But I feel like this I don't know for sure, but I have an inkling that this may be one of those scenarios where you see prices initially move to the downside because of the news, but as the market kind of digests everything and they say, you know what, it's actually not that bad. As a matter of fact, it's a buying opportunity for us because we're getting lower prices. So let's see if that won't be the scenario for today because right now we're breaking past the top of the zone. When we break past this wick at 450, 460 ish, I think that'll be our confirmation. So that's one thing I always tell you guys. Don't That's what I was saying earlier about not getting caught up in the overall move that you see at first because the overall trend is still up and we could go higher from any point in time on this chart. So we always keep that in mind. Now, only thing we got to watch out for is the false breakout. So we just need prices to continue to close above this zone. As long as they do that, I think we have a nice path to the upside and we could come back and test 34,500. So right now, based on where we're at, we still have about 40 points to run. So let's see if we can find a nice little trade somewhere in this area to maybe take prices back up there. For me, I would probably look for prices to break 475. Once I see them break that level, that pretty much gives me enough confidence to believe that they're going all the way up to 500. But until that happens, I'll be patient. Because right now, look at what we're seeing. We're seeing that long tail candle wick. We're seeing prices come back to test the top of the zone. Now, this is a very important part of our market analysis. We have to see what happens here. If we get our bounce, that's good for us, and we can definitely say that the uptrend is back in motion. So right now, the candle formations that we've been making, they look very good, but we need to make sure that this candle closes on a positive note. If we see that happen, then I definitely like the prospects of us going to 34,500. We just have about 10 seconds until this candle closes, so let's see. Mm, it was moving strongly at first, but now it's forming what kind of looks like a doji. But okay, never mind. I take it back. It closed relatively strong. So that's a good sign. All we need is to see that 75 level get broken. We're pretty much good. If you want to be aggressive, you could go long from that 50 level. I wouldn't be mad at you. But understand you also have a lot of risk behind that level if you want to take it from there. hmm So right now it's kind of playing around the 50 level. I think the 50 level is going to hold up right now, 450. But you never just want to trade based off of what you think. You want to make sure the chart supports everything as well. And let's see, let's look to the left. If we look to the left, this little pesky wick over here from earlier from 838 is still holding up and is still playing an important role in this market. But honestly, I gotta lean towards the long side for right now. We've come back to the 50 level. We could have broken through it at 450, but we still found support down there. And we're pushing back up into the 60s right now. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put an order right here at 51. So if prices do come back to those levels, I'll be able to. Do I want to get in? I do. I'll keep my order right there, but I'll move my stop up a little bit because I don't want to be too aggressive in this junction. I had profits from earlier. I want to make sure that I hold on to them. Risk management is very important. But we're in at 50. We're looking to take it back up to 500 or slightly below. Whenever you want to aim for a key level like 500 or 550 or 525, kind of make sure that you don't try and take it all the way up to that level because everybody else in the market is trying to get there too. you need to get out before all the hype pulls in. So right now our trade is going well. Our stop, you saw it click back onto the blue line. It moved back up to break even to protect us. So let's continue to trail our stop since we're in profit so far. We're pushing into the 90s. Let's see if we can get 97. And actually, we don't even need 97. I'll take 94. That's good enough. Boom, there we go. So it's kind of hard to see our orders right now, but you can kind of see the green line, right? So let's switch it over to a line chart actually. You can kind of see our orders right here. So we were able to go long at 450 and we were able to close it out at 497. We made 46 points on that trade right there. So you combine that with the 42 that we had from earlier, and that's my best day of the week so far. And all thanks to non-farm payrolls. And I think that's probably one of the best things about trading news announcements is the volatility that comes behind it. If you're patient and you're able to wait enough, you can catch some great moves because I could have been trading this whole time in between here and here. But as a trader, one thing I know for myself is that whenever I make a good trade, if I take a trade within 5 to 10 minutes after that period, it's probably a loss because I'm just trading off of overconfidence. I've learned that when I trade, I pretty much, well, before I say that, let me explain how I see markets move. I see markets move in cycles. It's periods where it's time for you to trade, and then periods where it's time for you to be patient. Now, if you can just refrain from trading when it's time to be patient and only trade when it's time to, you can be successful. I think a lot of times in my past, the mistakes that I've made, they came from over trading when I had confidence because I had good trades before, and then I end up giving it all back. So, in periods and times like this, all you got to do is be patient and let the market talk to you, listen to what you're seeing, recognize it, and then trade it and try and make some good profits off of it. So, for me, I think I definitely have to call it a day for sure. We'll still stick around and kind of, look at the charts a little bit as Darren comes back. Um, but yeah, that's how we like to do it on Fridays. We like to put together all of the lessons that we talked about from Tuesday and Thursday and put them together and show you profits on a nice scale when we trade live. So let me go ahead and mark up my chart and get it ready because here's another thing in terms of trading practices that you need to follow. Whenever you trade, whenever you're done with your session, you need to make sure that you record your trades in some way, shape, or form. Now, me personally, I like to screenshot my trades and I keep them all in a folder. I keep screenshots of every single trade that I take, whether it's on demo or if it's in a live account like we're trading today. So I just keep a collection of them and then I download all of my trade stats, put them into an Excel sheet, attach the picture of the screenshot to that Excel sheet and save it. And then boom, you have an archive for that day. And when you get some free time, you can go back, you can look through your archives and see how you traded, what works for you, what doesn't, do more of what works and less of what doesn't. And that's one of the benefits that you can get from actually cataloging all of the material that you're able to collect from the market. So that's what I do right here. I like to put these little ellipses on the charts because I also export these to Instagram and kind of just let people know what I saw and what was important. So make sure you guys follow me over there as well on Instagram under the name Ty Trades Futures. So that's TYTRADES Futures with a S on the end. And I'll be posting this chart today and kind of just giving you the written out details about how exactly I was thinking during this trade and what exactly I saw. So let's go ahead and finish marking it up. We just need to put the text on it. Trade number 1 and trade number 2. We took 4 trades overall today, but I just want to highlight the important ones. One of them was a break even. Well, 2 of them were break even trades. This one and this one. They canceled each other out. So we'll just focus on these 2. We're able to catch a nice move. Now let's make sure everything is kind of centered in the picture. And then, boom, let's go ahead and get that screenshot. Let's get that screenshot. Boom, boom. Darren is on his way back right now. All right, boom. Wait. Oh, I'm struggling. Okay, there we go. All right. I was acting like an old head. Let's just save it. Save it. Bring up documents. I have a whole folder for this. Chart records. And when I break it down, I name it. I put the date behind it. Today is May 7th, 2021, 9:45 a.m. All right, cool. And since Darren is on the way back, before he gets here, let's go ahead and take a sneak peek at what's been going on with his trade. So it's at 78.02 right now. So it looks like it's let me pull up the 5-minute chart. Let's see what it looks like for AU. AU should be at the top of my list. Here we go. Let's look at the 5-minute. So, okay, yeah. This trade is actually looking pretty nice right now. He had lower lows and lower highs throughout this entire formation. So that's nice. As long as we keep making lower lows and lower highs, we should be good. We're coming back into the last high right now, located at 78.02. So Darren's trade is making money. My trade is making money. We're making money all around the board, man. Shout out to non-farm payrolls for giving us these opportunities. When we get opportunities like these, we got to take advantage of.
Absolutely.
That's what we want to come to the markets and do. You
you
back.
Yeah, I'm back. I didn't want to cut you off just then. But yeah, that store had a crazy line, but pass it back over to me. So we're gonna actually look over.
And you just gonna hijack.
It's gotta hijack. You just come on over and just bust over. Gotta come back and take over. Guys, see my screen? You guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right, so let's kind of see what we are. I think Tiberius might have been right. He said we should have kind of waited till it hit my take profit, or I should have just taken profit down here at the bottom. I'm still in profit now. I can probably take profit now, which is probably what I should do. But I think this was the first leg of the lower high and lower low. So I think now we could be expecting the second leg of the lower high and lower low. So we're going to let this one rock out and see what happens. So I feel more confident on the short move now for some reason. I did want to lean more towards the buy, but this red candle looked a little bit strong. And something about this wick at the bottom, like we said before, sometimes it used to be like a signal. We used to say a signal for it going straight up. But in my trading experience, I've been starting to notice that when the wick does form like that, that pretty much means there's open orders down here that's trying to be filled, and the rest of this area is going to be filled. So I definitely want to take it all the way when it comes back down to this area of duality, and this is where I want my take profit to be. So let's just be patient and kind of see how it happens, or what happens in the next couple candles. So let's drop down to the 5-minute though. So yeah, this is really showing us right here. This is probably the first official leg, and now we're coming up on the second official leg. So we're going to be patient on this one. We're going to let this one rock out. So yeah, and I don't think I'm going to try any other trades for today. I think gold, let's flash over to gold, because I think we went over gold yesterday. Gold yesterday, we were talking about those flagpole formations and how, like, when we see a flagpole, that usually kind of lets us know that those are signals to be heading up towards the upside. I think that it could definitely still be possible. Yeah, I think it could definitely still be possible, but like I said, I think we're definitely waiting for an area duality to kind of happen. And the duality area happens where the highs kind of line up with low areas. And I think this is another area where this high over here lines up with this low. Let me kind of raise it up just a little bit. Yeah, with this low. And then we can be expecting for the market to make some type of move once it comes down here. But the only thing that kind of worries me, that's why I'm not really taking this one, is that it looks like this area has kind of been hit. And whatever's kind of sitting at this level, the market hit it, came down, and then it came all the way back up to close up above here. And then the next candle was a green candle. So this could be kind of letting us know that the buyers, or the AKA bulls, are now trying to step back in the market and push this pair up. And like we said, if we just look at previous history, the last time it did something like this, we didn't necessarily get a retracement in this case here, but the up move was so strong that once it broke above this little candle here and stayed above this area and consolidated this whole time, this was kind of like our signal to let us know that whatever's sitting down here at the bottom, the market doesn't want nothing to do with, and it just like, you know what, let's just stay up out of that area and just stay away from that. And ever since then, we got the market to consolidate, push up, even come back down and touch this area again. And then, mind you, this low down here over at this bottom candle lines up with this high of this red candle over here. So it lines up all perfectly. Like if I push it up just a little bit, you can see how the top wick of this red candle lines up perfectly with the low area over to the left of the green candle over here. So we want to definitely take that into consideration. And then the same thing kind of happened here, where we got the push up here, but this red candle came back down to retest this duality level. So I think the buyers definitely have a good opportunity to hop in the market. I definitely wouldn't say hop in right now, but you definitely want to try to get a low enough area or a low enough price to get in. So I feel like if you can possibly get a retest off of the 7 moving average, I think that should be good levels to hop in for the long move. But you want to make sure that this high area gets broken, because if this high area isn't broken and it starts to form lower low and lower highs, you want to wait for that retracement to happen first before you decide to hop in. So definitely be patient on that one and make sure you're trying to get in that lower area. So I think for me, the next lowest area I would try to be looking at, where this high of this little candle here lines up with this low. It's all about those duality levels. So the bottom of this green candle, this one right here, let me see if I can just... Where's the paintbrush? Hold on. Okay, here we go. So this candle here and this one here, this green one here, I don't know if that was not even a good area. Let me click that and delete that off. In fact, let me go to this first. Let me see if I can put like a better type of arrow, because that was like messed up, look crazy looking. So there we go. So this green candle and that, so the bottom of that green candle and the top of this green candle. So I want to see what prices do once the market comes back into that area. Come on. So that price is 1830. I want to get as round as I possibly can. So I want 1830.50. Let me see what happens if I put that in. 1830.50. So that's definitely at the bottom of the box. So I think that's a good area for buyers to hop in. I'm not going to set up a sell for that one. I mean, a buy for that one, but that's just, just my opinion for gold. So let's flash over to AU really quick before I pass it over to pass it back over to Tiberius, because I did hijack him in the middle of a sentence. But I had to step away for a second, so I wanted to come back with a strong conversation, because I was hearing in the chat he went over and it was explaining my journey actually in the middle, and I was like, you know what, let me just hop back in and take over and let him know what's really going on. So let me flash over to my MetaTrader. Let's see how much we are up in as far as dollar amount. Even though dollar amount is not important here, we're more into the pips. I think Tiberius could have been ultimately right on this one, and I think I might have used my 3 trades for today. But we're still going to be patient and still let this move happen. But I think Tiberius was ultimately right, and he said I should have waited till that play hit my stop loss to be stopped out for the buy move, and I should have stayed on that side. So he was absolutely correct on that one. So let's pass it back over to Tiberius.
All right, so let's look at what the Dow Jones has been doing so far. We were able to catch that nice good. We were able to catch a nice up trade off of the open. Caught another 40. Now, I don't want to do too much today. We had 2 40-point trades today. The trend is still pushing up. It's more than likely coming back to retest that area. That the initial down move started from, right back up here at 580. So if you're long, I would probably say that would probably be a good place for you to maybe potentially take profits. It's actually, it hasn't hit it quite yet. It hit 570 at the highest. So if you want to still hold it, you can. But if you look at the price action right now, we're kind of making a double top. It's the double top right here. If you look at the line chart, it's a lot more evident to you. And look at where the double top is forming. It's forming in an area, for the most part, that's the market structure top. So if you haven't been long already, it might not be time. Maybe this area down here at 525 could be your last frontier and your last chance to take the long move. But right now, I wouldn't bet on it, because we've already had such an extreme up move. If you think about it, we've come from 380 all the way back up to 500, almost 580. So that's 200 points. So to expect more from this, it's not impossible, but just based on how we know markets move, you got to give markets a chance to pull back. So you got to be patient and wait for those moves to happen. I think overall, for the most part, it's time to be patient for everybody in the market. You need to see exactly what happens coming out of the Dow Jones. For me, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. One thing about trading, whether you have wins or losses, when you get to a certain point, you got to stop. And I think it's just as difficult to stop trading when you're up as it is to stop trading when you're down. When you're down, you want to make it back and be like, man, this next trade, I'm going to get it back. And then when you're up, it's like, ooh, this next trade is going to be good too. In both those scenarios,
I would have to beg to differ. I think both of them are very hard, especially when you're up. I think not so much when you're down. Like, down, you want to get your money back, but that when you're up is more powerful to me. It's like, yo, I just made this an amount of time or whatever. I want to go back in. I know I could double it. So I think that one is definitely a little bit more hard to resist than if you were down. So I had to say that, because I definitely had plenty of feelings days where I was up and I wanted to stop so bad I wanted to stop, but it's just something was in me was just like, you could double that, you could triple that, and not listening to my intuition and not having that rule, like Tiberius said, you put rules in a place for a reason. You put boundaries in place for a reason. Like, you don't go over those boundaries, especially when you're trading. Because if you don't listen to yourself, who can you listen to? So that's all I had to say. I think I might be just about done for today too, because I didn't stay on my right side when I knew exactly what was going on. I knew this was a flagpole formation forming. Instead of really just being like staying on that side, it's just I wishy-washed the play. Not really letting and sticking with my intuition. And my intuition was telling me to go down, but I know the rules and the setups for the flagpoles, and I should have stuck in with that at the end of the day. So that's pretty much my explanation for today. Ty, you got any explanation for any of the moves that you played out today?
Nope, I covered everything.
Well, so there you have it, guys. So that was a nice little session we had today. We were up in some cases, we were down in some cases, but this is what we want to show you guys, how you could be up in 1 minute, or you could be just as fast as you could be up, you could be down. And you always want to stay with your initial decision no matter what. I think the number one thing I want to leave you guys with is understanding that first decision that you usually go with is usually, let's just say, 8 times out of the 10 correct. So if you can be disciplined enough and listen to yourself more than anybody and be strict about those rules, you'll be a very profitable and consistent trader. And that's just pretty much what it's all about. So, anything else we need to cover, my boy?
No. Next week we'll be here Tuesday and Thursday, 9:35 Eastern Standard Time. 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live market analysis review. So make sure you tune in on Tuesday and Thursday for those. They should be very informative. We want to come next week and really break it down for real, give you guys some details about things we've already talked about, and also some details on some new things in the market that you need to know about. So make sure you tune in.
For sure, for sure. So this Sunday, we're definitely gonna we're gonna have Tiberius go ahead and post our schedule like he does every week, just to give you that schedule in writing. We're gonna be here, same place, same time next week, Tuesday, Thursday, 9:35, like Tiberius said. You already know how to contact us. You can contact me on my personal IG, which is at I'm the D Guy, at INDGUY, or my business account, which is at Pearl_Financial _LLC. Again, at Pearl_Financial _LLC. Shoot me a DM, shoot me a question, or just even shoot a comment, man. I love to hear back from the people that I'm spilling knowledge to every Tuesday and Thursday. You already know my boy Tiberius links. You can get him at.
What's up, you guys? You can make sure that you follow me on both YouTube and Instagram under the name Ty Trades Futures. And also,